Hi, this is Jake. In this video I'm going to be going over the Countdown Timers app inside of the Power Up apps. Now the Countdown Timers app allows you to, like it sounds like, create countdown timers. Now these countdown timers can be used on your website, on Infusionsoft thank you pages or landing pages, as well as in Infusionsoft emails. These countdown timers are great for creating urgency and driving your leads or your customers to take action, or just nice visual reminders of upcoming events that they've signed up for, or different things like that. So, without further ado, let's go into actually setting up a countdown timer. So the first option here on the countdown timer, when we go to add one, we have a few options on how we can count down, or what time or date and time we're counting down to. We can count down to a specific date on the contact record. So this allows it to be a dynamic countdown based upon what's ever in that contact's date time field. We also have an option for a fixed date time, which is pretty simple. We can just select a specific date and time that we want to count down to. The last option here is a specific amount of time. So if you want it to be like, for example, this might be good if after they submit a form, you want to give them like 5 minutes to act, or even just 1 minute to act after filling that out on the next page, to like click another button for like maybe an upsell or something, or I don't know, some discount. And then if they don't act in time, you can set up a redirect that once that countdown expires, will redirect them to a different page. So there's a lot of options. Let's stick, since ours is a webinar, let's do it based upon a contact date time field. So we're going to select a webinar date time field that we have set up before this. If we wanted to, we could just do this as a date field and then hard code whatever the time is going to be. So like this could potentially be maybe like 11:30, or maybe just 11 o'clock, or whatever it needs to be there. But in this case, let's go off of what's in the contact's date time field. And then we can also use the contact's time zone if we want. Instead of always having it, like maybe if you're, this is a Ever webinar one, you could have it to where it's based upon their time zone. And so if they sign up for 7 o'clock in the evening Pacific, then if that's their time zone, you could use that versus someone else who's East Coast or something else. If you don't want to use that, you can always use the default time zone, which allows you to just set it for everyone. So let's actually just do it with the contact's time zone, but we'll fall back to Eastern if we don't have their time zone entered. And then a redirect, like I said before, if we wanted to, we could have a redirect take them somewhere else once it expires. Like for example, in the case of a webinar, we could potentially have this go directly to the webinar, or something else. Or if you're wanting to give this like, hey, time to act on a promotion, like a discount, you could have it redirect to some other page that doesn't have the discount. Something like that. This is kind of up to your guys' control. We'll leave that blank for now. Also, you have the option to pass the contact's details on through the redirect, which will just pass over like their name and email to the next field in case you want to have it autofill in some other form. Let's give this countdown timer a name. We'll call this webinar countdown. And now we get into the styling. I'm just going to leave this with the default options right now, but you have the ability to change the font family here. We can change the font colors and the background colors. But let's actually get through to a preview. And also you can change the labels here. Like if you wanted to change it to potentially like a different language like Spanish, or you just want to shorten some of these up. This will actually change the labels down below. Or you can turn off the labels completely to where they just don't display. Something like this. Let's actually invert this. I actually kind of like it where maybe like a black text, or even just maybe we'll do a red text. And then I kind of like it with just a white background, but you can make this whatever you want it to be. Oh, that actually, I didn't save that properly. Oh wait, no, let's do white here, and then we're going to change this one to, let's do red. Okay. And so with that, we're able to set up, or you can get like a preview of how this will look. Also, like I said, we can change our font here. So this is kind of a fun one that I like. It gives a kind of a different look to the countdown timer. But like I said, you can kind of experiment, see which one makes the most sense for your kind of countdown. If it's um, merits kind of this kind of font, or more of a traditional font, or maybe like a fancy cursive font. There's a lot of different options here of different fonts that you can kind of play around with. Um, so with that, after you've kind of customized the font to be how you want it to be, from here you can get the countdown timer script snippet. Um, and so we have a few different options here. We can use the Infusionsoft email builder, which is the new campaign email builder. This one's a little different. You need to, when going into the campaign in the email, you're actually going to insert an image and then do a custom image URL and paste this directly into that spot that it gives you. And let's actually load that up really quick. We'll show it really quick. But while that's loading, let's move on to the next one. Infusionsoft Legacy Builder. This one, you're just going to embed an HTML snippet. So this is for the old email builder. When you go into email templates, if you're using those still, you can use this option, which is for embedding an image into the HTML snippet. Both of these options for the emails inside of Infusionsoft. For your website or an Infusionsoft hosted page, you just grab this script below and paste that into wherever you want it to display on your website or landing page or thank you page. The important thing to note here is if it is on your website, you need to ensure that the contact ID is getting passed in the URL. So it needs to get passed through either from like Infusionsoft, or if you have a membership site that's hooked into Infusionsoft, it needs to get merged in somehow into this script right here to where we have this. And if it's passed in the URL by default, we'll pick up on that and automatically merge it in here for you. And like I said, the Infusionsoft thank you pages, you don't need to worry about that. They automatically pass the contact ID in there for you. So this will just work out of the box on an Infusionsoft hosted thank you page. Let's go back over into Infusionsoft and try this out on one of these campaigns. Let's go into this one, and I actually already started one. Let's continue this. Oh, not this one. And let's use the Infusionsoft one. So this is probably the most common one that you'll use if you're using it in an email, is you'll throw it in right here. Let's actually delete that. So let's say we wanted to throw the image up at the top for the countdown. We would just select image from up here and drag that in. And then from here, we would go into the custom image URL right there, and then we're just going to paste that in. And as you can see, we get the image pulled in right there. And then we can even resize that too, which is kind of cool. We can adjust this to be kind of the right size. And this is just a preview right now. We would need the contact ID to get passed in to show the actual, uh, based upon their field, where the countdown is coming from. But this gives you an idea of what it will look like. And then that's pretty much it. That's the countdown timer. A lot of cool features you can do with that to create urgency for your leads and contacts. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to email us or if you have any ideas or improvements for this or any other apps, just go to request a feature and submit your idea there. Um, Thank you.